All right, get into your position, bro. We're gonna be talking about the 9/11 attacks and the war on Israel, the war Israel on Hamas. What
Oh
do you have
yeah.
to
Oh
say?
yeah.
What
So
information do you have for me today?
so today I got some spicy information, right? There's this interview with someone named Scott Ritter, I guess a former U.S. Marine, and basically what he's talking about is the fact that um, 9/11 was uh,
An inside job.
admittedly by the Israeli military intelligence, it was claimed to be an inside job. It was done with
And
the purpose.
that is something that a bunch of Americans already knew, that it was someone within our
Right,
government that
right,
did this to
right,
us.
right. Yeah. And what people were saying before is that George Bush was the mastermind orchestrating all of it just so he can invade the Middle East for oil. However, that's like the half-minded um, um,
Belief.
idea, because George Bush is not that brilliant and he's not that much of a psychopath to do something like that on U.S. soil. But the people who are psychopaths who are willing to do that on U.S. soil are people who are not Americans and who owe nothing to America because they believe that they're above the rest. And I'm speaking about Israel. So this U.S. Marine says that, and then I've also heard it from another person, another I don't remember who his name is, what his name was, but I think he was like some sort of newscast, sort of like commentator or something, where he was talking about the fact that there's a U.S. Army intelligence report that came out, was published the day before 9/11, that said that at that time at that moment in time, the Israel Mossad, which is the Israel military intelligence agency, was so powerful and so well connected that they had the capabilities of orchestrating an attack on the World Trade Center and make it look as if the Arab Muslims did it, so that the U.S. would then have a real excuse to invade the Middle East and join Israel in their takeover of the region. For Israel, predominantly would be the area known as Palestine, which they wanted to expand. So this report says that it was done so that Israel would kind of shove, shoulder shove or elbow tuck or whatever, the U.S. into the war, um, without having to ask them to do it. And so that's a U.S. Army intelligence report. And then this Marine comes
Wait,
in into this
hang on. Let
interview
me
that
condense
happened.
what you just said. Let me mute this emo. All right. So basically, what you just said is the Jewish state of Israel
Yep.
country wanted to
Well, I wouldn't call them Jewish. I would call them what they are, which are Zionist.
Israel
Zionist state of Israel. Yeah.
wanted the U.S.,
Blah, 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 blah.
the most powerful army in the world, to go to war
Yeah.
with Palestine and the Arab nation states.
Well, not necessarily Palestine. Palestine was more of their end of the deal, and but
I'm
the
condensing it because you're making it way too long.
well,
Um,
but you're not condensing it well because you're putting in things that don't
can you
go.
condense it then?
Yeah. So basically, Israel orchestrates a terrorist attack on the Twin Towers, which inevitably pushed the U.S. into warring conflict in the Middle East, and thereby helping Israel to push their agenda to take over the entirety of Palestine. Which after that point, what they had was pretty much that's when the Gaza Strip be, became the Gaza Strip, and then the West Bank became the West Bank because before that time the the remaining territories of Palestine were still a little bit more than what they were at, up until October. And now that the October attack happened, now the Gaza Strip is pretty much half of what it was because they pretty much decimated the north region of the Gaza Strip and moved everyone south and then bombed the south and continue to claim that Hamas is hiding underneath tunnels under
All right.
hospitals and
Well,
schools
you know
without
me.
evidence.
All right, hang on. You know me. I'm not really biased when it comes to taking a side in the conflict. I don't care about the Jews and I don't care about the Muslims. But
Hmm.
here's what I know. The Jews have the potential to protect themselves. They have the Iron Dome,
Right.
whereas
Well,
everyone else doesn't have the Iron Dome.
well,
So
but that's the
it's like
thing.
a
The Iron Dome
child
is not even that
fighting.
effective.
I know it's not that effective, but it's been pretty effective in recent times.
Yeah, it's been alright because
All
the
right, let me
projectiles.
keep talking. So it's like a child fighting a grown up. It's not a fair fight.
Right. Yeah.
So is why the hell are the Palestinians still trying to fight if they're like
Well,
fighting an
because
unfair fight? To me, I
here's
see it
he,
as a you idiots. Why did you provoke a bear, for
so
example?
here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's not that simple as like why are you still fighting and if you know you're not gonna win. It's not that simple. So think about it this way. Uh, Palestinians are at this point they're cornered. They're pushed into a corner, and it's either they
Well,
push
now they're
forward
worse
or
off.
what?
They're worse off now than they were.
No, but yeah, but that's the thing. You either push forward on the sword that's pushing you into the corner, or you let the sword pretty much kill you. So, what are they gonna do? Do you decide?
How are
Do
they
you
being
die?
pushed?
Do you go off willingly? You just let them kill you, or
Obviously not.
do you
You're gonna
stand your
fight.
ground and yeah, are you gonna fight and stand your ground and die fighting? So that
Yeah.
it's more about that principle. I'm assuming, right? I mean, I'm not there. I don't live in Palestine.
Yeah.
I'm not a Palestinian, and I didn't grow up around the issue. So this is what I'm thinking. That's their reasoning, right? Second of all, they have nothing to lose because regardless of what they do, the entirety of the West is gonna support Israel.
What
Regardless of
entirety of the
regardless.
West? No, no. It seems to be that it's been a split faction of some supporting
Uh,
Israel and some
well, no, because
Palestinians. That's what I've been seeing
what,
a lot.
well, yeah, no, but you're seeing what the people are saying. You're seeing the support of the people.
But you're
The
talking about the
people,
military, like our government.
I'm talking
Gotta be
about the actual
specific.
governments.
Okay.
Governments of the West are gonna
Our
support Israel
government is gonna
regardless.
support Israel.
Yeah. What?
Our government is gonna support
Yeah, our
Israel.
government is supporting Israel.
Yeah.
They already deployed Marines
Yeah.
to the region, and 5 Marines already died
Wow.
in the fight. Yeah.
In
Yeah,
a war that's
exactly.
not ours.
In a war that's not ours, that has nothing to do with us. So, so the governments of the West are gonna support Israel regardless. The people of the West might not. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the people have. The people don't have a say. The people here in the West, they think that they have a say in anything. They don't. And they know. It's it's more of they kind of know, but they kind of want to pretend that they don't, so that they can live with the idea that that they have a purpose in life. That they have something meaningful to stand on or to stand for, and so that they can say that tomorrow they can say, oh yeah, the government oppresses us, they're tyrants, and then
You're
they tell us
ranting.
everything. They tell us how to live our lives. But at least I went on Twitter to rant about it. I made a YouTube channel, and then I created vlogs about
Can
uh, pushing anti-government idea and rhetoric. And so at least I have freedom of speech, this and that. But
who
they
cares?
know
Who
that.
cares? Yeah, who cares? We know they're oppressed. We know we are in the U.S. We're oppressed. Who cares? Let's go back to Israel and Hamas.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So here's the thing. So yeah. So you have a group of people who are like pretty much super minority without an army, without an actual army, and you're backing them up gunpoint into a corner.
dude,
So they're gonna fight. They're gonna die fighting. They don't want to die. They don't want to die. They don't want to die in submission. They're gonna die fighting.
Yeah.
So and then here's the funny part: the people who are fighting for Palestine right now are people who pretty much betrayed Israel. And
Hang
what
on. The people that are fighting for Palestine
are
betrayed is.
people who betrayed Israel. Pretty much.
Oh,
At this point, you can see it that way. Or I could say rather, Israel betrayed those people, so now those people are betraying Israel. And what I mean by that is Israel
you
helped
can't
create.
betray who betrayed you.
Well, yeah, you cannot. But I'm trying to make it make sense, right? So so essentially, the reason I say that Israel betrayed the people who are fighting for Palestine now is because Israel helped create Hamas and helped to ask for the Western countries to fund Hamas so that Hamas could help Israel split Palestine into two factions, into two warring factions. The people who, for example, the people who live in the West Bank are ruled by a different legislative system than the people who live in Gaza, and the people who live in the West Bank are also under Israeli control.
Do you want to bring up
Uh,
a map real quick on Discord so we
yeah, let
can.
me look it up first though.
All right, let's go to
So
Discord
let
and
me
share your screen, bro.
hold up. I said let me look for
Take
the
your
map
time.
first. Uh, a second, my keyboard is being stupid. All right, I think I found pretty much. Uh, nice. All right, let me go on Discord now, and I'm gonna share my screen. Hey, Hingo, give me a second. I'm gonna mute myself. Give me 1 second.
Are you serious? All right, so right here we have 1947, unplanned 1947. What is this? 1949 to 1967 and 2005. Jewish settlements, Palestinian land. Wow,
All right, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back.
that's insane.
Can you see a full screen?
Yeah, I could see. It's good enough.
All right, give me a sec.
Hang on, there's some idiot Naruto guy right here or something. I'm just gonna mute the lobby. Oh my god. Alright, we're good. Are you there?
Okay.
Aquilinoir.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm here. All right, so yeah, so you're, I heard you were explaining it, right? Can you see my cursor moving around?
Yes, I see your cursor.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, so for you and whoever's watching, right, and who will watch in the future, God willing. So this is the West Bank, right? That's the Israeli-controlled Palestinian region. Palestinian Christians and Muslims and Jews live here. Um, under Israeli control. This is all Hamas
Sorry, you
control.
said Palestinian Christians, Muslims, and Jews live there?
Yes,
Okay.
and when I say Jews, I mean actual Jews, not Zionist Israel Jews. The white area is where all of Israeli Zionist Israeli Jews live. Here you will find the Orthodox Jews, the ones who are against the state of Israel, the ones who denounce the state of Israel because it is against their scripture, the Torah. So uh,
It's against their scripture to do what exactly?
it so according to the Torah, the Jews are not supposed to have a state. It is against their scripture. One of their main scriptures is their main scripture is the
Here,
Torah, right?
let me, I have some information on that. So I believe there was 12 tribes, 12
Uh-huh.
Israeli tribes,
Hmm.
and one of the tribes was not supposed to have uh, land, and this tribe was they were pretty much the popes, if you will, the preachers, the ones who were in charge
Oh,
of taking care of the
the
tabernacle,
clergy,
the
the clergy high
clergy. Yeah,
class.
that was them. They weren't supposed to have a uh, property. They were supposed to live here and there, whereas everyone else they were giving land. Are you talking about the this? I forgot the name of uh, this tribe.
No, I'm
You're not
talking
talking.
about no. So I forget the exact reference, right? But in the Torah, which is in the five books of Moses, peace be upon him, um, the Jewish people as a whole, the people of Israel, the descendants of Israel, us as a whole, are told by God that they are not to have a land, a kingdom, until the Messiah comes to give them that kingdom, to establish a kingdom for them. So this is why the Orthodox Jews, one of the reasons, right? The Orthodox Jews are against having a state because they're not supposed to. Because if you believe in if you genuinely believe in your scripture, you faithfully and patiently wait for your God, your Creator, the one who told you to wait, to send you that Savior, that Messiah, who will come and liberate you from oppression, from the evil of the world, and establish a kingdom for you. If that's what you would do as a God believing person, right? As a faithful God believing person, you remain patient and wait for that Messiah to come. However, the Israelis took it upon themselves to establish that state because simply they don't care about the scripture. They don't believe in the scripture, but they use it to further their agenda. That they, for that they have always been persecuted, oppressed people, victims of the world, blah blah blah. And so, especially after World War II, they can't get over themselves, and so they must let the world know that God decreed a land for them. However, he hasn't. That's the only thing. He hasn't.
Sorry,
God
what did you just say? God create a land for them?
God decreed a
Decreed.
land for
Oh,
them, but he
okay.
hasn't. That's their claim. That's their claim. But
Well,
he has not. He has,
as
in fact, denied that.
let me step in real quick. As a Christian, um, I read the Bible and I agree with that they did get a land for them, but this land was it was a God-given land, but the thing is this land was given to them when God was on their side. So, according to the New Testament, uh, God is no longer with them. He is with the Gentiles, and we no longer strive to gain land. We're no longer trying to uh, do what we. There's a lot of laws we don't follow, like killing people or stoning people to death.
Right.
And one of the things that happened is when Jesus was killed, uh, the Israels deny him being their savior. So
Right.
when he was killed, it was pretty much a break of contract between God and the Israelites. Their their protection pretty much ended, and
Right.
now the land belongs. Now the land is no longer God given. It's whoever can occupy it, whoever has
Yeah,
the
it's just
power
land.
to take it.
Yeah, it's just
It's
land.
like
So
every other
yeah,
piece of land here.
yeah. And here's the thing. Here's the thing.
So
So,
God is no longer
well,
with them.
that is the New Testament claim, right? That is
Uh
the
huh.
New Testament claim. But I'm only solely talking about the actual Jewish claim to the land. You have two claims. That you have the Zionist claim, which is what Israel is doing, and you have the Orthodox Jewish claim, which is we don't have a land. We don't get a land until God says we get a land.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: what you said about them having a land, it is true. They did have a land. God did give them a land. However, because they continued in their disobedience, God told them that they would no longer have a land until that prophecy is fulfilled, the prophecy of the Messiah coming to establish a kingdom for them. And and that is what Israel doesn't care about. They just care about having the land because Israel is a secular state. They are not a religious state. is a secular state that is further how can I say it, driven by the idea of Zionism. And Zionism is a religious political ideology. It's like the evangelical right wing in the U.S., right? It's like that. It's a political idea driven by religious motives, religious ideals. But and what you see here in the map, right?
Yeah.
Now, so nowadays, this region right here, that's where you have two different Palestinian ruling systems. The one where they have their own some of their own legislations, as well as their rules and legislations imposed upon them by Israel. And then you have the Gaza Strip, where is Hamas rule and is only and solely ruled by Muslims, by Muslim rule, nothing to do with Israel rule. So now that the October attack happened, uh, Israel, told Palestinians to evacuate the north in what was it, 24 hours or something. And then as soon as they started evacuating to the south, they started bombing the south, the north and the south.
What?
Yeah,
I hadn't followed that part
yeah,
in the
yeah,
current events. I did not know
yeah,
they told them to evacuate to the south and they started bombing the hell out of them.
yeah. They started bombing the hell out of everything, everything on the Gaza Strip.
I did not know
And
that.
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't look
man,
into that.
it's freaking insane. So and recently, right, they started bombing a hospital, Al Shifa Hospital, and they're claiming that they're under the hospital
Yeah, I've heard that.
there's a mass tunnel. And guess what? Because the IDF could not find evidence for a Hamas tunnel, that now they're claiming that because they couldn't reach the hospital in 3 days, it's because the reason they couldn't reach the hospital until 3 days after they attempted, or until 3 days after they were in direction to, or in convoy to the hospital, I guess. Um, it's because they were being delayed by the hospital. They were being delayed by the hospital, so that the people at the hospital could work to bury or to cover up the tunnels, or the entrance to the tunnels, so that when the journalists and the IDF arrived, there would be no evidence of the tunnels. And that's the reason they're giving the press
Uh-huh.
of why they couldn't find evidence that there are tunnels underneath the hospitals. And then after that, shortly after that, they started bombing a school.
Wow.
So you tell me if what they're doing is actually fighting Hamas. No, they're not fighting Hamas, because all of
They're trying to kill
yeah,
everyone
they're trying to kill everyone in the Gaza Strip. They don't
and
care.
do what they've
And
been doing since 1947, which is pretty much taking over the whole state of
yes,
Israel.
yes, yes, pretty much. Yeah, and that's what
That's
they
what
want.
I'm
And that's what they
seeing.
want. That's what they want. And this is the video that you're gonna watch right now
Yeah.
talks about that pretty much. Hold up, I hear some
Yeah, there's some
music.
weird people here. Oh God, the Cat in the Hat is here, and there's a.
He's singing Nasheeds, but I am pretty sure that
Oh my God. Put the
I
gun
don't think he's a
away.
serious. I don't think he's a serious person.
Put
Okay.
the gun away. Of
All right.
course,
So
he's not a serious person.
let me
Do you want to move somewhere else?
sure.
We can move over here.
I'm gonna I'm going to or we can find another place,
Where do you want to go?
like another world. I don't know. You look it up while I'm looking up
Okay,
information.
got it, got it.
I'm gonna show you a video for us to watch, and
Could make
it's
this a
from
private instance though.
and react to what this Marine is saying. It's former Marine.
I made a private world for
What was
us to
that?
join. I made a private world for us to join. Same
Cool,
thing
cool,
we
cool.
where we won't be disturbed.
Do I just join you?
Yeah, just join me.
Hang on. Alright, I'm on my way. Where are you?
I'm at the entrance.
Oh, okay. I'm already upstairs. I'm gonna continue to find that information.
Go for it. I'm messaging a friend.
No.
Apparently, his friend fell in love with a bucket.
Ah, a bucket?
Yeah, yeah, with a bucket.
That sounds weird, man.
Hey man, it's 2023.
No, I do judge. I'm a Muslim. I do judge. I don't care.
All
I don't
right.
compromise.
So this is a private instance. Friends of yours can join. Friends of mine can join.
Nice. All right, let me find two pieces of two videos that I want us to discuss. Hang on a sec. It's a very is a video that tends to get buried because they don't want people to watch it. You know, it gets shadow banned pretty much, pushed to the very bottom of the barrel. They don't like people watching this video. And I got it on my phone. Do I have it on my phone? Maybe. No, I don't. I don't. I wasn't able to download it.
So apparently my friend has yeah, fallen in love with a bucket and reminds me of that guy who, oh my god.
Keep
Reminds me of the
talking.
guy who fell in love with no, made friends with a beach ball or with a coconut, was it? It's this one movie.
What are you talking about? He didn't fall in love. He just had a
Made friends with
yeah. He made a friend with
beach ball
like
or
a
coconut.
volleyball or something, a
Yeah,
beach ball or
volleyball.
something.
Um, hang on, I'm trying to look for something as well too. You there, bro? Like,
Hold
you
up.
need more
Yeah,
time?
I'm betting information right now. Make sure it gets to the point.
Okay.
I'm going. Okay, I found it. Damn.
You found it?
Yeah, it's a video. It's a YouTube short, so it's gonna be easy. Uh,
All right,
cause
you're
yeah,
gonna share it.
it's the yeah. Hold up, the video is so obscure, man. Like it's hard to find it. I got three videos that I want us to discuss. The first one is gonna be this one because it will ease into the conversation. It's just the beginning of an actual long interview, but the beginning is like what a minute, and we're gonna watch it all.
Right.
I'm gonna screen the share. You watching?
I don't see anything so far.
What?
Oh, there we go. Okay, some old guy? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see it.
He's this is Scott Ritter, and he's an
Scott
ex-Marine.
Ritter.
So let's see what he says.
Israel does not want a Palestinian state, never has, won't
Can
tolerate
you
it.
turn
They
up the
talked
volume?
about it, but they knew they were never going.
What?
Turn up the volume.
I don't know if that's on me. I don't know if that would matter. I think you
All
have to
right. Yeah,
turn
I'm
your own
good.
volume.
Yeah. All right, do
All right.
it. Found it.
Israel does not want a
Wow.
Palestinian state, never has, won't tolerate it. They've talked about it, but they knew they were never going to allow it to happen. And one of the ways they prevented it from happening was to create a division within Palestinian population. So they promoted Hamas, they funneled money into Hamas, they openly collaborated with Hamas, even though I don't think Hamas understood they were being collaborated with, and they empowered Hamas. The United States is looking at a bigger picture, and the bigger picture it requires stability in the Middle East. In order to do that, we need Saudi Arabia on our side. We need Iran to be pacified. We need the Arab world to be doing what we want it to do. That is our big picture. And we're not going to let Israel get in the way. It has eliminated the one major obstacle to peace in the Middle East, and that is Israeli intransigence about a Palestinian state. That's gone. There will be a Palestinian state. Israel has no choice but to accept this. It will be dictated to them by the United States, by the international community, because the international community is turning on Israel as we speak. As I said, you can only drop so many bombs on a helpless civilian population before people call you out for being the war criminals that you are. So I think going forward, we're going to be seeing a different Israel, and this is the game changer.
When Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th, the U.S. government.
All right, so yeah, so that's the first video, right? Um,
Yeah.
and so basically what he's saying, right, is what I've been telling you at the beginning of of our discussion here. And here's the funny part. Like people think that Hamas is like some sort of um freaking terrorist organization that just sprouted out of the ground like a potato and decided, you
Obviously,
know
well,
what?
the thing is, obviously, as a outsider, I don't take sides. What I've been seeing
Right.
is they've been constantly at war with each other for years
Yeah,
now.
well, no, but that's the thing. No. No. Israel has been at war with no one. Israel has been taking over Palestine, period. They've been bombing people, killing people, taking prisoners. And it was until recently that Hamas started standing against Israel. There was a war before, I forget what year it was, but there was a war before this recent war. There was a war before where um, a lot of Hamas people were actual Hamas fighters were assassinated, captured, and then on top of that, a lot of civilians, innocent civilians, were captured, and they're still being held prisoners by Israel. They actually have like thousands of prisoners, Palestinian prisoners right now, civilians and Hamas fighters combined. And as well, they also killed innocent people while they were going out there hunting for Hamas. They would also take advantage of that and kill people. That is when a very known Al Jazeera news report and a journalist
Yeah.
was shot and killed by an IDF sniper. And up to this day, the soldier who killed her, the sniper who killed her, has not been apprehended, has not been charged of murdering an innocent journalist, a member of the press. So yeah, that's that. Then when we're talking about Israel pretty much creating and orchestrating the entire 9/11 thing, well, we're gonna look at this. Check this out.
In base,
You're about
pause
to.
it real quick. Basically, you're saying, like a lot of people have said, when we went to the war in the Middle East for WMDs, when we got attacked, the Twin Towers got attacked and destroyed. That was basically, quote unquote, the Arab nations, and now you're saying it was an attack by the Israel
Well,
to get
I'm not
us
saying it. I'm not saying it. There is a U.S.
evidence.
Army. Yeah, there's a U.S. Army report, which this guy on the screen talks about, that says what happened, and that the Israeli military intelligence agency is behind it. Um, but here's the thing: when we went to the Middle East for the weapons of destruction in
Massive
mass,
destruction, yeah.
yeah, when we went to the Middle East for that, that was before 9/11, and was it before 9/11? Oh, yeah, I'm pretty
Sorry.
sure.
That was one of the main reasons we went to the Middle East
Yeah,
because, quote unquote, Bush said they had weapons of mass destruction. That's
right.
one of the reasons people blame Bush because he lied.
Yeah, no, what? Yeah, but that's just the reason we invaded the Middle East. Um, for oil, right? And then that's a separate
Obviously,
issue.
there were
That's a separate
so many
issue.
booms that we got from invading
Yeah,
them. One of them being the petrodollar. We uh, basically, if I heard this correctly, the Muslim nations were trying to get rid of the petrodollar and trying to implement their own currency to get rid of the U.S. currency, being the currency used to trade oil around the world.
Well, no, the problem is not even, it's not even like that. Cause when people say it like that, it sounds like, oh, the Arabs are trying to manipulate the dollar, or get rid of the dollar. No, the reason Arabs wanted nothing to do with the petrodollar is because in the West, not just the U.S., not just the U.S. Listen and pay attention to this. Not just the U.S. In the West, everyone trades on interest. So whatever money you make, whatever profit you make in the West is all interest, right? A lot of it is interest, a lot of it is commission, a lot of it is actual profit. But most of the money that people make is and profit that people make is from interest. And the Arabs don't want anything to do with interest because it is prohibited in Islam to trade with interest. But this idea of a social of an economic system based on interest, it is neither American, and it is not Arab, and you know what I'm talking about here. Who that idea, where that idea came from. But
The
you cannot say
Jews.
it, because if you do, then you're an anti-Semite. So so yeah, this idea of trading with interest, the Arabs wanted nothing to do with it. So instead of continuing to trade with the petrodollar, they wanted to create their own currency. So to avoid trading with the petrodollar. However, by doing that, they would inevitably pretty much bankrupt the dollar. They would bankrupt the dollar because that was the basis for the dollar's value.
As as not a Christian, but as a war person, I see this as a retaliation. The the Arab nations are trying to destroy our economy, so as a war person, I see this as as a good cause. We're
Well, but
trying to protect our interests.
Well, no, but that's the thing. Yeah, yeah. The U.S. is trying to protect its interests, but that's the thing. The oil does not belong to the U.S. The oil belongs to the Arabs. The
The
Arabs are
oil
selling it to
belongs
the
to
U.S.
whoever can have the most powerful military to
No,
control.
no, 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 no.
That's the
You're wrong.
same thing we're
Because
doing. That's the
no,
same
no,
thing we've been doing for
no,
years
it's not. No, it's not,
around the
dude.
world.
Because no, it's not, because the oil that was being used to supply the dollar was being traded, not being. It was the Arabs weren't conquered by the U.S., and
Nope.
that's how we had all that oil. No, they were conquered after we invaded. They were conquered, and then even then they still weren't able to get all the oil that they wanted. The only oil that we're getting is the oil that Israel is funneling to us, because that's why Israel is our strategic ally in the Middle East, because they help us funnel oil from the regions where
What do you?
we couldn't get to, or the regions we could actually salvage.
What
But
type
here's
of?
the thing.
Here, let me ask you this real quick. What type of person are you? Are you the type of person to say you get what you fight for, or if you're there, it's yours?
Well, no, here's the thing. None of those, neither of those things that you said make sense, because I mean, you get what you fight for. What in respect to what, and in respect to whom?
In other words, fighting for means if you have a strong military, if you have the means to
Yeah,
take what
but
you can get.
that's an argument for colonization, and that's illegal.
Yes. Well, it's
That's
happening.
illegal. No,
Basically,
but
that's what we did. That's what we're.
yeah, but it's illegal. But it's illegal. That's why no one liked it, because it is illegal. It is a war crime. Colonization is no longer a thing. We as an as a,
Quote unquote, no
we
longer a thing.
right. And what I mean is, like, supposedly, right, we are supposed to be an advanced civilization, and we no longer look for things like colonization to help us further our interests. Instead, we trade, we negotiate, we become allies and friends with other nations to trade our goods, to trade our valuables.
This was all after World War II.
Yeah. But however, so that's what I'm saying. Like, that's an argument, that the whole idea of you get what you fight for. That's an argument for
Colonization.
colonization, and I'm not going to entertain that thought, because first of all, it is inhumane, and it is illegal, and it is immoral.
It's inhumane.
Second,
It's immoral. But that's what it's being. But that's what's
yeah,
being done.
yeah, that's what's being done. Doesn't make it okay, and that's what
Doesn't
I'm
make it
saying.
okay. Yeah, I'm agreeing with that. But it is what it is.
Yeah. So why are you asking me then? If it is what it is, why are you asking me?
I was
I
curious on
don't.
your stance on that.
Well, that's what my sin is.
Okay.
It is inhumane, immoral. I don't condone it. I don't agree with it, and that's what I'm saying. Like, what in respect to what, in respect to whom? So, second of all, I'm not. I am thinking about it, thinking about these issues. Like, oh, if you are there in that region, then I mean it's yours. No, that is a that is a stupid way of reasoning, because I mean, if you can say that of anyone and of anything, the Native Americans who were here already before the settlers,
Yeah.
they should have had all the rights to annihilate all the settlers, kill all the settlers, and keep their land. However, they weren't able to, right?
Yeah, because they didn't have the powerful military
Right, right. But
compared
but
to the
so that's why I'm
U.S.
saying that's what I'm saying, that idea or argument about you own it because you live there is a stupid idea. So no, I don't see things that way. Things are not that black and white. Things are not that easy, or things are more complex than that. I mean, at least these issues are more complex
Yeah,
than
you're
that.
assuming people are
The
gonna play by those rules, your
What rules? I'm not.
morals.
I'm not setting. I'm not setting up any rules. I'm just calling it for what it is. Things are
Yeah.
not black and white. Things are not black and white, and then they're not as they're not as easily explained as you live there, therefore you own it, or you have a powerful military, therefore you can own it. No, they're not that simple. Nowadays we have actual international laws, which people break all the time. Granted, I'm not saying that everyone follows the international laws. Israel doesn't follow the international laws. The U.S. doesn't follow the international laws, and the rest of the United Nations don't follow the international laws either. Also, the people who migrate to other nations from poorer countries don't follow international law either, because they come to Western countries to rape women, to do and sell drugs, to create more crime, do excuse me, engage in violence with the local populations, and do all sorts of degeneracies that speak so ill of the people of the countries where they come from, that and
If
then
you're talking about places like Africa or Central America, would you say
I'm
that?
talking about everywhere
I
around the
know.
world.
Let me just talk about these two places. Would you say that it? I wouldn't say it's payback, but
Yeah, no,
in a
I don't
sense
believe in
they're
the. I don't believe in the. It is a stupid idea that just because your country at one point in the history had some sort of evil influence on the people of another country that is poor now and crappy, that when those people from that country come to your country and ruin it, make it like ruin it, make it crime ridden and drug ridden, that means it's payback, and that means it's okay. No, that is a very childlike way of thinking. And here's the deal. Uh, if you want to judge by way of its payback time, then you can say that about everyone and everything. That means that you or anyone, right? Let's say let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Okay, so let's say that people in Mexico at this point in time in 2023 have every right, just because it's payback time, have every right to fly to Spain and terrorize the entire country, take over the country, rape, pillage, loot it, and then leave, or remain there and take over the country. That is essentially what you're saying. Because the Spaniards at one point conquered Mexico, then if Mexicans come to Spain and make it a drug, crime, and prostitution ridden country, then that means it's payback. It's just payback. So we shouldn't say anything. No, that's that's a childlike mentality. So I don't think that way. I don't. I
well,
don't.
wouldn't you say some people view it like that though? Like they
Yeah, some
want.
people view it like that because they're children mentally, but that doesn't make it okay.
Would you say
Uh,
it's children mentally, or they were just really
no,
messed?
they're children. No,
Uh,
they're
can
children
you let me
mentally
finish my
because
sentence? Or they were really messed over due to colonialism that happened to them first.
no, it's like I said, it's a childlike mentality
Yeah, I agree with you. Going over and
because
uh, you know, getting payback. It's
because
it's not a
because
good
think about
thing.
it. What? think about it. What does that? What do you gain from it? What do you gain from enacting payback on a country, on a people who didn't live at that time, where your ancestors, not even you, like your ancestors were oppressed, your ancestors were pillaged, raped, tortured and enslaved. Not you. You didn't live it. Your ancestors did. And now the people who live in the country where that happened, they didn't oppress your ancestors. They didn't oppress you. And a lot of them don't even have any connection to the people who oppress your ancestors. So how is it fair to go into a country, and why? And how is it fair, and what do you gain, right? How is
It's
it fair, and
not
why do
the.
you?
It's not fair. What the best outcome is? No more war.
Yeah,
Like no
exactly.
more
No, I know.
fighting,
Yeah, I know.
infighting.
I know, but I
No
know
more raiding other
and I
people's
don't.
land and
I, I
pushing them
believe
out.
I believe in the idea of no more war, but I also acknowledge that it is an impossibility.
Of course.
It is an impossibility, but we can try to contain we can try to contain the hive from going uh, on a frenzy as much as possible, right? We can try to contain them in a glass jar until we can no longer contain it. Uh,
Containment.
but
That's the
but
solution, and
but
that's
but
what.
yeah, well, the solution is not containment. The solution is teaching people better, teaching people to develop a mentality that separates humanity from the idea of war. And then here's the problem: you cannot you cannot do this in a generation. You cannot do this in 10 generations even. It's gonna take like centuries for that to happen. Why do I say that? Because in order for this to happen, you're gonna need people with very high IQ levels. And this is not to be meant as a, oh, we are more intelligent than people who like war. No, it just means that people who are how can I say, people who are less in control of their emotions tend to be people who don't have uh, the same cognitive capabilities of those people who can control their emotions. People who get angry. For example, people who do road rage all the time, and scream at people, fight people in the highway, sometimes even shoot others. These are not people who can control their emotions. These are very emotional and irrational beings. And
What makes you
because of
think
that,
we're gonna get rid of these people?
that's why I said it's gonna take centuries, because you cannot euthanize them. It's inhumane. You cannot euthanize them. It's inhumane. But like I said, a generational shift and mental training to move people away from that mentality is what is the only solution
Here's
to actually.
here's a
And that takes it's gonna take centuries. It's not gonna
all
be
right, all right.
tomorrow.
To combat that, here's the Christian belief. Well, if anything, it's also the Jewish belief. Sorry.
Mhm.
Um, someone recently said this as well. A Jewish person recently said this.
Mhm.
We should have. This is what happened in the Bible. When when the Israelites, sorry, yeah, when the Israelites were taking control of the state of Israel years ago, when they had God on their side. One of
Yeah.
the things God told them to do was wipe them off the map. Basically, wipe their enemies off the map. Uh,
Right.
leave no one.
Right.
And what they did is they decided, to disobey that order,
Yeah.
and they left some people alive. In
Yeah.
other words, what I learned from the Bible is that the 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 hatred um, for our past injustices, it's gonna be a generational thing. It's gonna stay like in our DNA. It's gonna be passed down from generation to generation, and it won't stop.
Well, here no, I kind of have agree with that. Have agree. Um, because here's the thing. Um, just like the fear of the dark, right? Humans, when it's dark, when it is dark, you humans do tend to feel more vulnerable. It is easier for a human to become vulnerable, emotional, scared, um, irrational when they are surrounded by darkness and they feel like they are not in control of the situation. So that irrational fear of the dark and is also a little bit involuntary because our ancestors developed that fear of the dark because it was during the nighttime, when you didn't have fire or where you only had limited resources to keep a fire. It was during that time when you had to be the most alert, the most anxious, the most prepared to fight and kill or be killed by predators who stalk you at night, who are looking for prey and looking to feed themselves. So just like that, and that developed for centuries. Like I said, it developed for centuries. It didn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen in one or two or three or even 10 generations. It takes a lot longer than that for it to be ingrained in our DNA. This is why people still don't fear, involuntarily fear cars, for example. Cars have been around for less than a century, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Cars have been around for less than, or maybe not. But they've been around for some time. Uh, and you don't see people going out and seeing a car and being afraid. You see people afraid of driving, but that is not in everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, is as a personal is an individual thing. Um, you don't see people being afraid of guns even, and guns have been around for a long time, for centuries. But you don't see people seeing a gun and immediately like being afraid. There's people who love guns. There's people who hate guns. There's people who are afraid of guns. There's people who, they just don't care. So it takes time. It takes centuries to develop an involuntary fear or an involuntary response. So something like that resentment cannot build enough, cannot live for long enough to for it to be ingrained in our DNA. Why? Why do I say this? Because after two people go to war against each other, all those generations that died off, they died off completely, and all their gene pool is gone. The only
Well,
people
the
who
thing
remain.
is, the families always pass stories like, our
No, no,
enemy
no,
was
no.
the
I'm
tribe
talking
on the.
about no. I'm talking about the people who warring against it. So think about it this way. Um, who in the world fears Germans? Has an irrational or involuntary fear of
Mm,
Germans? No one does,
maybe.
right?
Yeah. No.
But
Not. No.
Germans have been responsible for two world wars, the first one and the second one, and no one goes around looking at Germans and then being afraid of them. No. Um, so and then take it back even further than that. Take it back to the Roman Empire. Who are the descendants of the Roman Empire? We hardly have any. If anything, the closest in kind to the Roman Empire, sorry,
You're
are Italians, and that's even saying too like that's even driving it a little far
good.
because
Yeah.
they're not entirely Romans, but whatever the case may be, they are one of the closest people to the Latin people, to the people who spoke Latin, and and then after that you have the Spanish and the Portuguese, and maybe a little bit in the Germans, maybe a little bit in the French, maybe a little bit in the English, but it's not entire an entire how can I say it? It's not an entire uh develop or surviving DNA or gene pool, right? And what do you see? What is people around the world? What do people around the world think of Europeans? Italians, Spaniards, Portuguese,
Colonias.
English.
Colo.
No, no. Besides that,
Besides
forget
that,
about that. Yeah. What is
modern.
they
Modern
are modern, they are
amenities.
advanced, they are
Yeah.
civilized, they have money, they are they are eloquent people.
Yeah.
They're
They have
entrepreneurs.
monuments,
They have
monumental
monuments. They
buildings.
have cool militaries.
The
They have,
European dollar, the
yeah, all
euro.
that stuff.
Yeah.
All that stuff. They think highly of these people.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you go to Philippines and and you talk to anyone there about Europeans, and they're talk to a woman about talk to a Filipino woman about a European, and they would ask them, would you rather marry a handsome rich Filipino or a handsome rich European? What do you think
European.
they're gonna choose?
European.
Exactly, and it's not simply, it's not out of it is not bias. It is just objective. They're just being objective about their reality. And you don't see people that being afraid of Romans, even though they were behind some of the world's biggest massacres as well.
Yeah.
Um, right? So
Yeah.
it takes
Yeah.
time, and then the reason, and then what I would the reason I'm saying this, talking about the Romans, is you don't see people being irrationally afraid of Roman descendants or Europeans, because the Roman gene has pretty much diluted itself. It has spread so far and wide that it no longer exists, and now we have all these different people. Uh, so in order for some sort of like hatred or ingrained fear, in a people for another people, for another group of people, that you need that gene pool, that you need that sort of DNA to survive. You need that DNA to be established and survive throughout the history. So and that is the only way that fear will be carried into the future, if that gene pool survives if
The
that.
Roman Empire started in, was it Turkey? Modern day was it Turkey?
I think,
It
yeah,
ruled over Turkey,
it started in Persia with the
Persia.
Byzantine Empire.
Persia's what? Syria, modern day Syria.
Modern day Persia's modern day Iran. Yeah,
Iran. How
I'm
far?
pretty.
That far? So it ran from Turkey all the way to Iran?
Yeah, dude, the
That was
Byzantines were one of the biggest empires,
the
and I
Russian.
think that's how it started. I mean, the Russians are also descendants of the
Sorry.
Romans.
Sorry, I
The
meant the Roman Empire.
Yeah, 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 no, but the Russians are also. I forgot to mention it, but they're also. I mean, freaking Romania was named after freaking Rome, essentially, and their language. I think their language in Russian is also is what is known as a Romansh language. No, I think Russian is not, but I think Romanian is. Romanian is a Romansh language.
Well, the thing is, you're saying that all these people that lived in the past who had conflicts around the world, they no
Yeah,
longer have grudges against each other.
yeah. I mean, they don't, because simply because the people who. Okay, let me give you the clearest example. Latin America and Spain and Portugal. Uh, People in Latin America don't hate Spaniards or Portuguese, or in the case of the Brazilian people, they don't hate the Portuguese or the Spaniards. They acknowledge, even, and here's the thing, even though in Hispanic America they tell this they tell the kids, they teach the kids about the history of
The
Spanish
conquistadores.
colonization. Yeah, they teach the kids about the conquistadors, even though that is a fact that happens since kids are young up until their high school. uh, you don't see these people growing up to hate the Spaniards. You don't see these people growing up to hate the Portuguese, because they are told that they're just told history. Like, this is what happened to the people who lived here before. You are not those people. You are different, and you're here learning so that you can grow to be a better person, better than your parents were, and maybe your children would be better than you were. And 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 that's the idea. You have to move people away from the victimhood mentality, and the idea
Mm,
of
well, the thing is, there's
oppressor and oppressed mentality.
there's
Be-
there's a lot of people who have this victimhood mentality. A
yeah, no,
lot.
I understand, and that's why I'm saying, because a lot of people are emotional beings. A lot of people cannot control their emotions, and that's why you see a lot of people road raging, or a lot of people cheering, like for example, the current
Destroying their local Target
yeah,
or Walmart.
yeah, looting Target, Walgreens, destroying them, destroying the places, and the as soon as this whole conflict started with Hamas and Israel, I I declared it as the Roman circus, the modern circus. It came in a time when people are bored, are out of their minds. People are bored of them, out of their minds, and and the conflict gave these people who are completely bored out of their minds a reason to almost gave them a reason to exist, almost gave them a reason to stand for something, because they generally don't stand for anything. They just follow whatever is trending, whatever is cool, whatever is
I agree with that.
whatever is the biggest
Trend.
movement currently.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever so here's the thing, some of them don't even go that far, because here's the funny part, there are those people who they see something that's trending, like I don't know, some stupid Marvel movie, or a war political conflict around the world. They see one of those things and they're like, "Oh shoot, it's trending. I'm gonna follow it. I'm gonna support one side. I'm gonna support Ukraine, support Russia, support Israel, support Hamas." You know,
Yeah.
there's this type of people. Then there's the type of people who they cannot even drive their mind that far. They just say like, "My friend is supporting that, so I'm
Yeah,
gonna support
because
one that."
have you seen the videos of most women? They can't even tell like different countries on a map, or they can't name
Yeah,
five
or
countries.
they
I wouldn't
yeah,
say
or they can
even
even
women.
explain
I'm pretty
feminism.
sure it's a lot of men too.
Yeah, no, yeah, a lot of men. Same thing. It's the same thing, but the videos you've watched is probably um, because those videos that you're talking about are made with the idea behind exposing the reality that not just men are the stupid ones, and it's pretty much everyone. Everyone is stupid, and that's just a fact, and we have to help each other not be
Everyone is
stupid.
stupid and opinionated.
Yeah, and opinionated, and they don't even know why they hold those opinions. Like it's like when during the freaking when Trump was being elected or whatever, or running his campaign, there were people going around interviewing leftist and anti-Trump people and asking them, why do you hate Trump? Because he's racist. Okay, what? Can you tell me one thing that he said that is racist? And they would not be able to say anything because they couldn't. They were just parroting off of whatever they hear on the TV, on YouTube, or their friends. They have no idea why they're following what they're following. They just know that they have to follow it because it's what their friends are doing, or it's what is cool, or it's what is seen as
So
morally
basically,
correct.
social media has made people more stupid in a way
No,
because
I don't think social media has made people stupid. I just think it just has exposed people's stupidity mm, more than before. Because before you didn't have social media, there was no way for people to be outspoken about how stupid they are. It was only amongst your friends. Like if you had that stupid friend, everyone knew who that person was, and it was kept inside the circle of friends. Now, because you have social media, they can reach people across the world, and now their stupidity spreads. And that's why it seems that social media is making people stupid, but it's not. Social media is a tool, man. It, I see social media just like anything else, like a tool, right? I see social media like a fork. You can use it for anything. You can use it to kill someone. You can use it to eat. You can use it to build something, to carve a tunnel. You can get creative. I don't know, but it is what you make of it, right? And when you have people with nothing to do but parrot popular talking points that they hear on YouTube or from other people or from their friends, they're gonna do it because they see, look, dude, that guy is getting so many views on TikTok for saying that. I can say the same thing. So they go and reiterate the exact same thing the other guy said next door, and guess what? Boom, 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 10,000 likes in 2 minutes or some stupid stuff like that. So yeah, it's not social media that's making people stupid. It's just stupid people are active in social media more because they tend to not have anything better to do with their lives, but waste their time in social media. And people who
What?
are actually doing things productively, they're actually out there doing those things productively. They don't have time to spend an entire day posting on social media, making videos or whatever. Um, and and yeah, so like this whole thing about moving away from warfare is gonna take millennia to for us to get it. It probably
In other
might not.
words, you're gonna be
And
dead before you find out if
in,
wars ever
yeah,
stopped.
in other words, we were all of the people who live right now in 2023, and even the people who will be born
Won't know the end of
2023
war.
will not know the end of war. No, we will not know the end of war. And here's the thing. Even here's the funny part. Even though I'm saying this, that the only way to get rid of warfare is to ingrain in people the mentality to step away from that and to instead,
Victimhood
what?
and the victimhood mentality.
Yeah, not just the victimhood mentality. I'm also talking about the idea of reaching solutions with warfare. Um, Even though I'm giving you the solution is to teach people to how to develop a different mindset. Even though I'm saying it will take thousands of years, I don't even think it's gonna happen. Even if people tried it,
Yep,
I don't even think it's going to happen. Not
I
because
agree
it's
with that
impossible.
statement.
And here's the thing, not because it's impossible to reach it, but well, it is impossible simply because of what I'm about to say. Because even in the Bible and even in the Quran and in other, I'm pretty sure there are other scriptures out there too. Humanity will not stop warring at each other until the end of time. The judgment day will come and people will still be fighting on the day of judgment, bro. It's so ridiculous.
All right. What am I looking at here, bro?
All right, so this guy is the one who talks about that U.S. Army report. Let's listen. Let's listen.
Okay.
Be pulled into a war
Hang on,
with
let me rewind it.
Arabs, with the
I guess I can. Let me see.
Restart. Yeah.
Refresh.
wake up, Americans. You're about to be pulled into a war with Arabs, with the Muslim world, and you're going to be made to believe that something horrible that happened to you was done by the Muslims. But it wasn't done by the Muslims. It was done by a wild card, the Israeli Mossad, that's cunning and ruthless and can carry out attacks on Americans and make it look like Arabs did it.
That's the literal definition of a false flag. They didn't write that. That's a false flag.
That's not my conspiracy theory. That's the U.S. Army report.
The day before, published the day before 9/11.
Yes. You can call me any name you want to call me. That's a U.S. Army report. They warned us. They were telling us what Israel is capable of
Who
doing.
was warning us? Who was
Wake up.
telling us? The Arabs?
The army. The U.S. Army
Oh, the
was telling
U.S.
us, bro.
Army.
The
was-
U.S. Army warned people, and no
Why-
one freaking listened.
Why would?
Why? Because the U.S. Army does love Americans. That's why. That's why we have a U.S. Army, because there is people willing to lay their lives down the line for Americans, for American people. That's why we have an army. Not because the army pays well. You think the army pays well, dude? If the army paid well, you wouldn't have entrepreneurs in America. You wouldn't have business people in America. You wouldn't have people
Everyone would
trying
be
to
in the
make
army.
business in America. You wouldn't. Yeah, everyone would be in the army. We would be an entirely military state, but we are not. The army and the entire military, it is a crappy place to work at. It pays like
And
crap.
just so you
I
guys
mean,
know, Lenore was in the army, served
yeah,
4
I was
years.
in the army. Yeah, I was in the army. So I'm saying like it's not a pretty thing. If you're willing to serve, it's because you love this country and you love its people, not because you love the money that's gonna come to you. And here's the thing. Even people talk about the benefits. The benefits are crap. You have to be in the military for 20 plus years in order to
20
get your
years.
actual benefits.
What?
Yeah, and that's if you live to retire to those 20 years, because anything could happen to you in the military. You can die training. You don't even have to go to war to die in the military. You can die in the job, falling off, hitting your head, a
Can
freaking a
you,
freaking.
if you do die in the military, can you do some sort of lawsuit, or
Well, I mean,
what are
if
the
you die, you
benefits?
can't. But here's the funny part.
Or
People think that if
family?
even here's the funny part. Even if you, some people think that even if you die in the military, like on the job, like let's say like a freaking tank roll over you, um,
Your family will be compensated?
you yeah, they think that your family will. No, they won't. There's a whole
What?
investigation that happens on how you died, why
What?
you died, who's to blame, this and that. If there is likely
Acts
evidence that you did die
on purpose?
because no, yeah, well,
Accident.
like you unalived yourself, your family does not get compensation, even if
Oh,
there were even if there were signs that the reason you unalived yourself was because you were depressed or you had PTSD or you had some sort of psychological issue or trauma
because of
from
the
for
army's fault?
because of the military.
Yeah.
They don't give a crap. It's
Wow.
it's still voluntarily unaliving yourself.
Yeah.
That means you did it. That means the
It's your.
army had nothing to do with it. It is not job related
Wow.
injury or death. So your army gets zero, and they have to find a way to bury you and buy you a casket because
Wow.
the army or the military. And I'm not saying just the
Yeah.
army. The military will have nothing to do with you. However,
Amazing.
if they do manage to find that you did die of job related incident, they will pay every penny. They will pay every penny of it. Um, and well, I want to say that with take that with a grain of salt, because there's people who've had to fought for that simply because the soldier or sailor or airman or whatever it was or marine did not have the family members included in their record to be the people who to be compensated for in the event of their death, simply
Yeah.
because of that. Simply because of that, it's a way for the military to, it's a loophole for the military to not pay. So there's people who have had to, you know, fought lawsuits and lost a lot of money in the process, fighting that lawsuit for some compensation, and a lot of that compensation just went straight to pay for the buying the land to bury the service member. Not even, it didn't even go to the family anyways. So yeah, that's that a lot of that a lot. But some people do get every penny. Some people do get all the money, all the compensation, in the worst case, in the best case scenario. Sorry. Um, so yeah, the, I mean, this guy's telling you there's an army report published before the day before 9/11. The army
Yeah.
said, "Dude, pay attention. You're about to be conned into a war with Muslims, and the Israels are behind that conning, that con, that orchestrated attack." And boom, it happened, dude. It happened. And guess what? That's not even it. I'm gonna take you for even an even bigger trip. I'll see if I can find it, but first let's watch this other. You wanna discuss more? Or you wanna watch this video, the
I
next
want to
video?
say something real quick.
All right. I'm
Um.
gonna stop sharing because I need to find some information. Hold up.
Okay. I wanna. I wanna say something real quick.
Uh,
It's about finding a solution.
yeah.
Um, like in a previous stream, you guys can go and watch it. We talked about the shadow government being entities we cannot physically see unless they manifest themselves. In other words, I'm talking about demons, and what I'm getting at is that they are working with the government and they're gonna help us as people advance militarily or get into more wars with each other and ultimately prepare for a future war that's coming according to the Bible. Um, According to the Bible as well, we will never reach a point of peace. There will be conflict over and over, and when it looks like we will achieve this, then that's when the war is coming. But I wanted to mention something else about this. Can't recall. Alright, let me just refresh my mind real quick.
For sure. For sure.
I just remembered. What is your what is your opinion on a resolution? Because
To
I
what though?
really
Like we were talking about many issues.
the resolution of how if it were possible, how can we stop war? Because here's what I was getting at. I just remembered. It seems to be that religion is our number one problem for conflicts around the world. What if we were to get rid of religion? Would you say this would get rid of maybe not all our problems, but um, a good amount, maybe?
Okay, no. I don't think. Shoot, sorry. I don't think getting rid of religion. Here's the thing. You cannot get rid of religion. Even if you did tomorrow. Let's say tomorrow, everyone around the world tells people, okay, we will get rid of all religions. We will burn all sacred books. All churches, mosques, and synagogues will be burned to a crisp. And we will establish a worldview where no one is religious and no one goes to worship in a place of worship. And if they want to do it, they will have to do it completely and strictly inside their bedrooms, not in their living rooms, not in the outside where they can be seen, where they can be heard. No one can know that you are of any religion. It is illegal to say that you belong to any religion. It is illegal to practice a religion publicly in social media, in your at your workplace, in your car. You cannot post stickers on your car about Jesus, about Allah, about the Star of David, nothing.
It's gonna
No
be a
religions
mission.
in the world. And they say they do that, and then they say everyone says okay, let's do it, and everyone agrees. That's the super utopia best scenario. In a few years, someone will find a reason, a thing, an object, a way, an idea to build a new religion around. No questions asked. It's just gonna happen. And that is the reason you see still, even to this day, there are religions being formed to this day around the most outrageous and stupid things. For example, Rastafarianism. The
What?
people who
Rasta? Is that
Rasta, yeah,
some?
it is a real religion. Some people
Is that
practice it. Rastafarianism well, here's the thing. There's two versions of it. There's the hippie version and there's the real version. The real Rastafarians are people who believe in Rastafar. Rastafar is a Jamaican prophet.
yeah, Jamaica?
Uh, yeah,
Ras.
Jamaican prophet. And Bob Marley speaks about that prophet in many of his songs. And if you look him up, it's very interesting. Um, but
Rastafarian?
Rastafarianism, yeah. Yeah, we can. If you want, you can look up a
Keep
clip on
talking.
YouTube. You can
I'm
watch.
actually looking it up.
Yeah, yeah. So there's that, and then there's the hippie version. You know, the people who took advantage of the
Abrahamic
existence.
religion?
Yeah, it is technically an Abrahamic religion. Um, and because they believe in the same God, essentially, but they have a prophet. So, um, but people in the hippies in the Western world have taken advantage of the idea of Rastafarianism and use it as a way to say that because they follow that religion it is okay for them to be potheads, but basically chronic marijuana addicts. And that's basically it. That's what that I'm referring to. Like people will make up a religion about anything. That's why you have New Age paganism, which is the attempted revival of ancient paganism with modern ideas and ideals and imposing modern moral principles upon those practices. For example, you can no longer offer a virgin in sacrifice, or the virginity of a woman in sacrifice for a ritual. You can no longer kill a baby uh, in a pagan ritual, because it would be it would be immoral in modern day uh, thought, and it will also be illegal. But pagans in the ancient world did that. They would offer up a virgin and take their virginity during the ritual to enhance the power of the ritual and the magic. They would kill babies, burn them alive, and do a bunch of other things during their ritual practices. That's why you have New Age paganism. I mean, nowadays there is the Jedi religion. People who believe themselves to be Jedi, and I'm pretty sure
Oh God,
there's
can we just not talk about this? Like, I'm trying to be very serious here. Like,
I'm
when you
being
mentioned
serious.
Jedi, I just my brain just like
I'm being
I got so
serious.
pissed off right now.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, can we
that's not
ignore
my fault.
those? Let's just
That's not
I
my
know,
fault.
I
I'm
know.
just I'm giving you
I'm just trying to
examples.
maintain my sanity here, okay?
Yeah, well, yeah, but I'm giving you just examples, and there's
Jesus
all I mean,
Christ.
and I have a feeling, do you keep up with like fandom and stuff that people watch nowadays, like Star Wars and all this stuff?
Uh Not remotely.
Do you know about what is that freaking thing, Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Okay, did you watch it or no?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so do you know how there's like some sort of religion around
The
like
Matt.
like the people, the Mandalorian guy, he's like some sort of religious fanatic or
Yeah.
something. Yeah,
Yes.
I have a feeling that the Mandalorian thing is gonna become a real religion in a few years time. Just give it some time. There's gonna be people, they're gonna be claiming that their
All
religion
right.
is Mandalore or
Anyways,
whatever.
got it, got it.
So yeah,
No,
in essence, you cannot get rid of even if you
let
try,
me
you cannot get rid of
let
religion.
me talk about that in specific because I was actually gonna go there right now. Um, I'm gonna put a what if scenario because it's not to me. This isn't a what if scenario. To me, this is I've been thinking and thinking because according to the Christian scriptures, the Bible,
Yeah.
one of the things that has to happen is the eradication of religion. People are gonna see it as a means to end conflict in the world. So eradication of
Uh,
every religion is gonna
where are you
be.
getting that from?
You want me to bring up the scriptures?
Yeah. Cause I don't remember ever reading that, and it would be pretty interesting. Cause we do have something similar in the Quran, but
Oh, I
it's
didn't
not.
know that.
Yeah, it's not the exact same, but it's very, very along the same lines. Yeah,
Okay, you
very
do
much along the
you
same
you're
lines.
still looking for your thing, right?
Um, I'm gonna
Or
have
you have
to.
it?
No, I have it on my phone, so I'm gonna have to find a way to send it on
To
my from
Discord?
my
To
phone
Discord?
to Discord. Yeah.
All right, let me do some digging here.
I don't know if I can send documents on Discord, can I?
So, can I talk?
Yeah, I'm listening.
All right, so this is something Jesus Christ indicated in the Bible
Mm-hmm.
about quote
You sharing
unquote
it or no? No.
rotten. Sorry.
I was asking if you're sharing, like screen sharing.
Um, I'd rather not because this
That's
involves
fine.
pulling up a
That's fine.
Bible and
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm gonna say the quote so people can
Yeah, that's
reference the
fine.
Bible and you can also reference the Bible because I'm gonna say the exact locations.
Yeah.
But I'd rather not pull up a Bible. That's okay.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
So it says quote unquote rotten tree produces worthless fruit.
Okay.
Uh, Matthew 7:15 to 17. I'll read it for you. It says, "Be on the watch for the false prophets who come to you in sheep's covering, but inside they are ravenous wolves." 16. "By the fruits
Right.
you will recognize them. Never do people gather grapes from the thorns or figs from thistles, do they?" 17. "Likewise, every good tree produces fine fruit, but every rotten tree produces worthless fruit." So, on false religion, give me 1 second.
Forget how to do.
So this is something that also Jesus wrote, and something that a lot of religions don't follow. Even some Christian religions, especially Vatican religions,
Mm-hmm.
whatever they are, whatever they practice. Which I really don't know what kind of Christian they are. You know.
Yeah.
So Matthew, this is what Jesus said in Matthew 5:44. "However, I say to you, continue to love your enemies and to pray for those who persecute you." In other words, don't bless your don't bless soldiers and send them off into war to kill their enemies. And that's
Yeah.
exactly something that the Vatican Church was responsible for. Is
Yeah, blessing soldiers and sending them sending them off to freaking fight for their. Dude, the Vatican did the same thing that Israel is doing right now. They're blessing off soldiers to go fight a holy war that is not really holy at all. You went quiet, UI.
yeah, no, I'm looking for more information.
I'm trying to. Dude, I forgot how to change accounts on Discord, but on my phone.
Oh, on your phone. Oh,
Yeah, I don't see the freaking choice, the option thingy.
can you post it somewhere else? Or
Was the
can you
thing.
can you find the link and copy it or something?
I might be able to hold up. Hold up. I might be able to. Hold up. Oh my gosh.
So, um, so in Revelations, basically it talks about a lot of different things, and one of them, it talks about false religion, and it depicts false religion as a harlot sitting
Right.
on a fearsome beast. The beast has 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right.
Revelations 17, 1 through 4. I'll read you the story. One of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls came and said to me, "Come, I will show you the judgment of the great prostitute who sits on many waters, with
Mm-hmm.
whom the kings of the earth had committed sexual immorality, and the earth's inhabitants were made drunk with the wine of her sexual immorality. And he carried me away uh, in the power of the Spirit of into a wilderness, and I saw a woman sitting in a scarlet-colored wild beast that was full of blasphemous names and that had 7 heads and 10 horns. The woman was clothed in purple and scarlet, and she was adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls. And she had in her hand a golden cup that was full of disgusting things and the unclean things of her sexual immorality. So it's basically uh, telling you a story about this harlot, and she's standing on a beast. So give me 1 second. She's dressed in purple, exceeding wealth, missions. Revelations, and this is right after Revelation 17:1 through 4. On Revelation 17:18, couple uh, verses later, it says, "And the woman whom you saw means the great city that has a kingdom over the kings of the earth." A full cargo of gold. Sorry, this is Revelation 18:12 and 13. So going back, gives more description of this prostitute and what what she's wearing. A full cargo of gold, silver, precious stones, pearls, fine linen, purple cloth, silk, scarlet clothing, and everything made from scented wood, and every sort of object made from ivory and from precious wood, copper, iron, and marble. Also, cinnamon, Indian spice, incense, perfume. Basically, this woman lives in lavish. So this harlot represents uh, a woman who can exert influence over the kings of the earth, as seen in Revelation 17 through 18. A woman whom you saw means the great city that has taken a kingdom over the kings of the earth. So this it's talking about a woman who is very powerful and can control
Right.
other nations in the world.
Right. It's yeah. It's a
Well known.
obviously it is a, what do you call that? It is an allegory.
Yeah,
Right.
because it's not
And
really a woman and it's
right.
not
Right.
really
Yeah.
a beast.
Yeah.
So here it says the beast that the harlot rides pictures in the world's political powers. In Revelations 17:10 to 13, it talks about the beast. So it reads, "And there are seven kings, five have fallen. One is the other that has not yet arrived, but when it does, he must remain a short while. And the wild beast that was but is not is also the eighth king, but its offspring from the seven, and it goes off into destruction. The 10 horns that you saw mean 10 kings who have not yet receiving a kingdom, but they do not receive authority as kings for 1 hour with the wild beast. These have one thought, so they give their power and authority to the wild beast."
Mm. Well, I mean, okay, yeah, I mean, I know that part of the Bible, but I'm saying like, yes, so you were trying to connect it to.
This is basically the beast signifies United Nations and the U.S. and Britain, world powers. And later on, it goes on to say that this beast will then turn on the harlot, and it will kill her and take her treasures. In other words, it's going to kill off religion. In other words, it seems like the United Nations is going to be the one to destroy religion and take the harlot's riches, uh, to pretty much strip the religion off its money and uh, pretty much everything. No more religion.
Well, I don't know if it's religion in general because if you if it is if you're trying to say that it is religion in general, it makes no sense because not all religions around the world are the same, are equal, and are have any sort of power. Like for example, um, there is no there is no um, Islamic treasure, right? Like if you like for example, if you raided the Vatican and took all and took all the riches, you will get riches. You will find treasure and stuff that you can take and get rich of. And they I'm pretty sure they have like gigantic piles of gold somewhere hidden in the Vatican or somewhere
Yeah,
that belongs to the Vatican.
but
You cannot do
other
the same.
little
You cannot do this.
religions,
Yeah, you cannot do the same with Islam. There's Islam is not like that,
it's a
right? We don't have a
more.
yeah, we don't have a pope. We don't have a pope. It's a religion of the people, literally. Like the only place that we
You
consider a
can
treasure
Vatican.
is Mecca, because it is the place where we go to for we go for pilgrimage, but it is a sacred site. It bears no treasures other than our emotional and religious connection to it. Um, so even if anyone raided the Mecca tomorrow, they wouldn't find any like gold or anything as they would on on the Vatican, you know. Same with freaking Jewish people. They don't have a Vatican. Like if you raided like any synagogue around the world, like if you raided one, uh, what are you gonna find? Probably Jewish people praying. I mean, yeah, um, you can probably rob those Jewish people of their riches because some of them are rich, but that doesn't mean that you're robbing their religion itself, right? So
Yeah,
I don't think it is referring to religion, but it might be referring to a religion or a religious movement
yeah,
that has become pretty much the dominating power, that the puppet master that controls all that controls the beast that sits that's under it, right? That where she sits. And like a whore, like a harlot, sorry, one sec, I'm scrolling through all this stuff that I'm trying to find the stuff that I'm talking about. So like a harlot, this religion or religious movement, you know, they go to bed with whoever is willing to pay the most or is willing to pay a
and have
favor.
you? The thing is, have you seen that coexist thing? Have you seen the world
Yeah, but
religions
that's
joining?
just yeah, but that's just here's the thing. That's just leftist people who want pretty much the Jewish, the Christians, and the Muslims to accept their degeneracy. That's just those people. That like if you go to a Muslim and you show them that coexist signs, they might be like oh, what do you mean by that? And they're like, oh, you know, it's the idea where everyone can believe in whatever they want to believe and without having to have any conflict with each other. And then a Muslim might say, yeah, yeah, I agree with that. But what you're not telling the Muslim is what's behind that agreement. Behind that agreement is you're telling the Muslim or the Jewish person or the Christian that they are also agreeing with saying that it is okay to be homosexual, that it is okay to be a sodomite, that it's okay to be
Can you
a
see my
uh,
screen real quick? Keep talking.
you said look at your screen or
Yeah,
share your screen.
I just shared it. Just look at mine.
Oh, I'm
Keep
looking.
talking.
Oh shoot, I clicked on it. So yeah, so you might you know you might tell the you also need to tell the person you're talking to, whether it be Muslim, a Jew or a Christian, that hey, once you agree with this coexist sign, you are also saying that you support gay rights, that you support gay marriage, that you support possibly even pedophilia, that you support what is it, zoophilia, that you support freaking transgenderism, that you support the idea that people should worship pagan idols, that you support witchcraft, because I don't know if you know, but some of those symbols in that coexist sign are pagan symbology, are come from the new age of new age pagan people. Now that you're on Google Images, go and look up coexist real quick. just so I can point that out real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, like you see all those people, they're from all different these different religions, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, they're all trying to generate a peace movement, right? A movement where people can actually, coexist. But the coexist sign doesn't come from these people that you're seeing in the image. It comes from leftists. Go and click on it. I'm gonna show you real quick. All right, click on any of them. I mean, click on that one with the rainbow, especially that one.
Oh my
That is,
god.
dude, that's perfect. Okay, so you have the Turkish Islamic symbol. By the way, the moon, the half moon, the star is a Turkish symbol. It's
It is.
not,
Okay.
yeah, it is not a
Muslim.
pure Islamic symbol. So if anyone denigrated that symbol, we wouldn't care. We could care less. We don't have symbols in Islam, but it is associated with
Muslim.
Muslim
Oh, okay.
because of yeah, because of the Ottoman Empire, pretty much. So so you have the half moon Turkish Muslim symbol, then you have the peace sign, then you have the E with the sexes symbol, then you have the Jewish Star of David, and then you have a pentagram,
Oh my
and you have
god. You do have a pentagram.
yeah, you have a pentagram with in the eye, you have an S in the yin and yang, and then you have a cross.
Yeah.
There is another sign, different sign. See if you can scroll down real quick. That people usually actually have that one on their cars. That's the one I see the most. I think it's just yeah, it's just any one of those black letters and black and white background. Yeah, so now that's you can see the pentagram more clearly.
Yeah, you can.
Uh, so what you're telling, if you bring this coexist sign and you see the peace symbol, you see the success symbol, you're telling, I mean, look at that one with the freaking ganja symbol and all that stuff. You're telling, if you bring that to a Muslim, if you bring it to a Jew, if you bring it to a Christian, what you're telling them is that they have to accept the idea that it is okay to worship pagan idols, to practice paganism, and to practice witchcraft. Because that pentagram, it is a New Age symbol, and it is a symbol of the pagan, the New Age pagans, the pagan witchcraft, the people who practice modern day witchcraft and paganism. So that's why I'm saying that coexist sign came from the left. It came from people who want conservative religious people like Christians, like Muslims, like Jew, to accept them, and that's why they have those coexist signs. But you're not gonna see a freaking priest with one of those signs. You're not gonna see a Muslim with that one of those signs. You're not gonna see a
The
Jew with one of those signs.
yeah, I'm not really talking about the coexist signal symbol as much as the fact that some of these world leaders,
Hmm.
religious leaders, have
Yeah.
gotten together in
Yeah, yeah,
different
but there's a reason there's a reason that they're getting together. They're trying to get together
climate for change.
to guide people to avoid war, right? They're trying to get together for that reason, and
So they're
but
basically getting together to control the world's armies, trying to
not to
control the
control no, not to
world's
control it
trying.
because they can't do it. They cannot do that. They know that the secular governments are not going to allow them to take over their militaries because if they do that then I mean you got freaking the dark ages all over again, bro. It's just a matter of time. Like yeah, they might say like, oh, we control the army so that you don't go to war, but it's just a matter of time until that happens, until that actually happens. So no, they don't. They're not trying to control the armies of the world. They're not trying to control the militaries. They're just out there to call their people, their devotees, their followers, to world peace, to agree to live peaceful lives amongst each other. That's what they're trying to do. However, uh, the Vatican has been, who have been one of the biggest pushers of that movement, are also very secular lenient, meaning that the Vatican espouses secular liberal views a lot of the time, and this is why those meetings they have with all these religious leaders looks fishy a lot of the times for many conservative religious people. because the Vatican is not what they portray themselves as. They portray themselves as the leaders of the Catholic community, but in fact they're wolf in sheep's clothing. They support gay rights. They even actually just recently I will look for that article, but just recently the Vatican said that it is okay to have transgender priests.
No,
So
yeah,
there's
I think
that.
I heard that too.
Yeah, so there's that. So that is that, and that is all coming from the Vatican. The other religious people who are coming to meet in the Vatican, they're simply doing it out of their own compassionate, driven, moral principles. That they do want world peace. They don't want people fighting wars for religion anymore. They want to move away from that, but in the process, they're actually having to compromise a lot because the Vatican is under um, secular doctrine now. They're not really that religious. I mean, shoot, man, the Vatican. The Vatican is like very close to saying that pornography should be a legal profession for any Christian. Like they're really close to it, to saying that. I'm actually surprised they haven't said it, but you know, it is what it is. Hey, okay, we need to do an intermission. I need to step out for a little bit.
We're gonna call it pause for now.
Yeah, we can call it pause for a few minutes. I need to do something real quick. I'll be back.
All right.